We should soon be joining. Welcome to this episode of Say Prayer, guys. May Nigeria never happen uh, to you. My name is Richie Adebayo. I'm still here to tell my Biafra story. We are progressing on it, but then events in the present keep events in the present keep overtaking or outdoing the things we thought were horrific events that we've witnessed, that we've seen. Every day, Nigerians get shocked. If there's anything that still would shock any Nigerian now, as you can see, patriotism is not forced. It's not forced. Patriotism is a thing of pride, a thing that grows out of affinity, out of support, out of, if you like, nostalgia, out of stories of heroes, heroines over time that individuals come to hew into. And in the present, it flows out of the willingness and the programming of states to intentionally protect its people, its citizens. Those who lay claim to whichever state. I've always loved the Nigerian colors. I've always loved the Nigerian enterprise. I'm looking for reasons to hold on. I'm flying the Canadian flag today because I live in Canada. It's not just that I live in Canada. I'm a bona fide Quebecoan Canadian senior. A pension Canadian senior. And I was not born in Canada. I was not born in Canada. But every Canadian I know is proud to reference that flag. Nigerians who want to reference the Nigerian flag. I want to reference the Nigerian flag. I've been flying the Nigerian flag all through the time I started this program. I'm an unabashedly proud Nigerian, well, and Canadian. But what do you see on ground in Nigeria? People gaming the division, fueling divisions. Creating contrivances that distract the people. Pitching people against themselves. For any nationalistic or any group interest, I've laid those foundations previously in this program. I'm a Christian, yes. You know, this episode we've said beyond jihadists and crusaders. What is happening in Nigeria is beyond Christian and Muslim things. It's individuals contriving, manufacturing over time for vain dominance, dominance that don't produce nothing, dominance that they have nothing to show for it. And I will make my point. It's not just, I chose, it was a personal choice. I chose to be an entrepreneur. I chose not to work in government agencies from time. Anybody who knows me, some people not know the story. And it was not by chance. Am I mistaken? No. Some have gained from their gaming the system. And in their gaming the system, they tend to build or set out to build structures to exclude others or subjugate others instead of working to bring all of the talents, all of the resources, all of the skills, all of the good heads together to create. Nigeria's case is a very serious case of cutting your nose to spite your face. And somebody will say, what is he talking about? Why is he rambling? I'm not rambling. Don't worry. If you do follow me, even if you read any of my books, I will get to where I'm going. So follow me. This guy here behind me, Nnamdi Kanu, you can call him an opportunist. You can call him on couch. You can call him crude. You can call him. It's a human being. If you followed me, if you know me, I don't. I'm one of those who like, why is he like this? But first and foremost, he's a human being. He has not been treated like one. He has not killed anybody. Bring the records. At least one of the reasons why you put him in jail is not he killed this person. No. My sitting is covering some other people, okay, that are in that space. Yes, I will come to that. But let's stay with now. And I want to play you. I made up my mind that, I can quote Bishop Tutu. I can quote so many philosophers over time if you keep quiet. That no. Those ones, the generation now probably they don't read. Most they read or they read what they want. Will not. I want to use a video, a quotation from somebody that a lot of the now generation would recognize easily. And here, that's somebody who has no business really, technically, he has no business commenting about what is happening in terms of equity, social justice, fairness, humanity. Yeah. When I saw that video, I'm like, no, this is speaking. So not that not that I've kept quiet about anything, but about this guy. Why is he still in jail? I would bring up materials. Maybe when you watch them, when you see them, maybe you begin to join me to ask that question. Why is this person still in jail? Yes, yeah, I can almost hear some of you say, well, it's not Tinubu that put him in prison. Yes, it's not Tinubu that put him in prison, but it's Tinubu that's the president of Nigeria right now. It's the same Tinubu that gave amnesty to drug lords, people who are incarcerated, who are jailed because of criminal activities they were involved in, not somebody who is asking for fair play, justice, and equity. He didn't put him in the list of those people to grant amnesty, which would have solved a lot of the problem that he's struggling to solve today. It's not looking inwards, it's looking outward. In the book of Isaiah, sorry, but yeah, we're here. In the book of Isaiah 31, verses 1 to 3, go and read it. It talks about those who go to Egypt to look for. It talks about broken reeds and all of that. Before I come back to that Isaiah issue and go into Egypt, I want you to please watch a video. Pep Guardiola is a footballer. When I say he's a footballer, yes, he's a football coach. But then before he became a coach, he played football at the highest level before he became a coach. So he's still a footballer. So he's still in the football business. So you would not expect that somebody like Pep Guardiola, the present football coach of Manchester City in the UK, the English Premiership, would be the one to make. No, wait. Hear him, please. Let's listen to Pep Guardiola.
Never ever in the history, in the humanity, never ever we had the info in front of our eyes, watching more clear than now. The genocide in Palestine, what happened in Ukraine, what happened in Russia, what happened all around the world, in Sudan and everywhere, what happened in front of us. What's happened right now, still right now, with all technologies, all the advances that we have, the humanity is better than ever in terms of possibilities. We can reach the moon, we can do everything. But still right now, we kill each other for what? For what? So, and I see the images, I'm sorry, it hurts. It hurts to me. That's why in every position I can help, speaking up to be a better society. No, I want to change anything, but I tried, I will be there. All the time. It's for my kids, for my families, for you, for all of you, for your families as well, for the kids, for the family of my players, for all the staff. And everyone do whatever he can, in his job, in his life, the best. And the injustice, from my point of view, the injustice, you have to talk. You have to talk. Otherwise, the justice move on. Look what happened in the United States of America with Rene Good and Alex Pretty. So had been killed. One in an infirmary, nurse, NHS. Imagine NHS, you know, 5, 6 people around him, go on the grass, 10 shots. Tell me how you can defend that.
You had Pep Guardiola guys on YouTube. I will do whatever I can from a footballer. Having the presence of mind to notice what's happening in other parts of the world, how people are being unjustly, unfairly treated, even killed. He didn't mention Nigeria, yeah, no problem. But we're talking humanity. It's not about, but we're talking our humanity. But in that same place, where Pep Guardiola mentioned 2 people killed, that's more than 2 killed. That is the same place that some people believe that their salvation is going to come from. Instead of looking inwards, doing the needful that they are in position to do to bring Nigerians together. Look, I said there are reasons I'm flying the Canadian flag today. You think everything is prim and proper everywhere? No. In Canada here, some groups from one of the provinces here is going to Egypt to say Trump should help them to get Alberta to leave Canada. Canada. To leave Canada. That Canadians generally have universal health coverage. If you live in Canada, if you are a legal resident of Canada, even if you are an asylum seeker in Canada, you have health coverage. It's not available in America, no? Who is preventing universal health coverage in America? The politicians, lobbied by the big farmers. What's the link to Nigeria? Who are the people preventing maybe put in general terms, good governance? Who are the people preventing having things work to benefit the ordinary persons? Same politicians. Lobbied by their colonial masters. It is not Nigeria's colonial, it's the colonial masters of the politicians. Somebody, a pastor. Instead of people hearing her speak out against injustices, against the loss, insecurity, against the loss of life of women, children across Nigeria, he goes to attend a prayer meeting and returns to Nigeria, and there's a video. I don't know how authentic that video is or not, of her saying she has, at least she's now gained international recognition because Trump mentioned you, Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. How many Americans rate President Donald Trump? What is the percentage of those who, if he has another term today, would say, really? What has happened in red states in terms of recent elections, states that voted him, what has happened in those states? Whether it's governorship or state assembly, what has happened in those states? America is structured to heal itself. Is Nigeria? No. We're talking patriotism. We're talking opportunism. We're talking those who are using the banners of religion for opportunism. Trump should bomb more northern. You have an army. Your husband is the president of Nigeria. Your husband can unite Nigeria. Your husband can take one or two steps and but he can't. Why can't he? He wants, you know, he wants to remain in office, and he's willing to do anything and anything to remain in office. At what age? Who is his replacement by the time God naturally calls him home? Who is President Buhari's replacement today? Who? They are the products of earlier opportunists who made no good use of the opportunities they had. From Ahmadu Bello to Akintola to Awolowo himself to Zik, they made the wrong choices about that entity called Nigeria. And by themselves, listen, I'm asking you, why is this guy in there? What did he say that nobody has said before? You were here now. How would you have a people just being slaughtered and they'll just keep quiet and wait for you to come? And the people slaughtering them are not making any efforts to stop by themselves. Instead, they're getting emboldened by the day. If you went to attend so that they call you a very fine pastor, it's a Christian, sorry, it's not for anybody to say who a Christian is, but I will tell you who a redeemed pastor is or who a redeemed pastor is not. Or even if you're a redeemed pastor, so what? The people who are genuinely redeemed pastors, pastoring parishes, what have they been doing? How have they been useful to their congregations, to the body of Christ? I pastored the redeemed parish. I resigned. I walked away by myself. So be a pastor, it's not, if you have money to manipulate, that's not, it wasn't right. It's open for those who want that title pastor for whatever reason. Some go there to be called redeemed pastors so they can go and form their own ministries. Some go there so that people can respect them and trust them in society for one thing or the other. There are different reasons for which people get that title pastor. By the time they were going to ask me to go and I asked them, excuse me, are you sure? Are you sure? They say, you have this, you have that, so you should be able to do it. I said, is that, are those the reasons why somebody should be a pastor? And when I go down, I'm like, no, this is not working. You're not pastoring people. You're not interested in people's spiritual growth. You're not even interested in people's welfare, physical welfare support. You're not. It's exploitation. So you have opportunists in the secular sphere who have now acquired titles that make them sound spiritual, using that opportunism to fool and hoodwink globally. Wrong. I want to show you what the face of a mother looks like. I want to show you what the face of a Christian woman looks like. whether it's a Christian or somebody, a God-fearing person, Christian, Muslim, please. You know, this program, I tell you, you can believe whatever, it's what you do that's important. If you're a Muslim, why don't you use your good neighborly behavior to make others to want to become Muslims? You're a Christian, why don't you use your attitude, your practices, your behavior to make others to want to become Christians? That's what the Bible, that's what Christ says you should do. It's not that people are hungry, they're telling you they're hungry, you now go inside your house. They go and buy vegetable for you from the market, you put it in basket and you come out. This is vegetable from my garden. Who cares? So it's a big deal if you have vegetable in your garden. In short, if you are not farming vegetable from your backyard, then something is wrong. Because you should have a very huge space to do that. But let me show you who a true mother is, who a true compassionate woman is, what it looks like. And it's not noisy. No noise. The last time I saw this person, this woman, the last time I saw her, was with her physically, this 2026, that's about 21, 23 years ago. Please, guys, help me to put up the picture of Angela Adebayo. Nigeria still has people that can make people proud of that flag. But right now, it doesn't seem so. It doesn't seem so. She's one of them. Angela Adebayo. You might not know her, you might not have heard her name. You might have. But I will share a story here so that you can look at her conduct and the conduct of your First Lady today in terms of the affairs and the concerns of not bootlickers, not sycophants, not party clappers, no. I met Angela, but the time I met her, neither herself nor her husband, who was the governor of Ekiti State at that time, knew I was from Ekiti State. It was not important, it's not necessary. I was representing a pharmaceutical company in a joint partnership they had with the state government, with her NGO actually at that time, Angela Adebayo Foundation. I was representing inept Pharmaceuticals as a consultant on that project. This was about 2000, 2002, 2000, between 2000 and 2002. She got to know that I was from Ekiti State purely by accident. And she was like, look, you can kill somebody. You didn't even talk. It's not necessary. Several meetings to take care of that partnership was a program that Nimet Pharmaceutical had in collaboration with our NGO for orphans and vulnerable children due to HIV and AIDS. That partnership led to the establishment of the orphanage in Inyekiti. She's from Inyekiti, I'm from Inyekiti. Traditionally, their family is my subject. I've said it on this program before. I'm reality. I'm from, I think they're from Oketoro themselves, okay? But none of that mattered. None of that came to play when we met. It wasn't important. But from the time she knew, she became, wow. At one time, which is where I'm going, she sent for me and I went from Lagos. I was not based in Ekiti. I went to go answer her call. And by the time she had sent everybody from her office, it was just myself and her. I said, Mr. Dusi, that time, what's your problem in this Ekiti? I'm like, Your Excellency, what's our problem? I thought you were you are our wife now. I said, okay, okay. What's our problem? Okay. I said, in what sense? She looked at development things, mentioned this. I'm like, I was glad somebody was asking that question. The story I'm telling you is narrated in the same book for which I'm telling the stories here. This same book is still scrolling behind me here, Biafra, lest we forget. I told this story about her in that book because it's relevant to nation building. When you hear Biafra, lest you forget, you think I'm just talking about, no. I looked at my experiences and looked at what was happening and what's wrong with everybody. This story is in this book. This book you see behind me. She said, well, look at everywhere, nothing seems to be working. I said, Your Excellency, there are two problems. Thank you for asking this question. There are two challenges I've seen personally. I have been taught my father. One is spiritual, one is structural. Spiritually, she said, spiritual, what do you mean? I said, okay. I said, Your Excellency, you've moved around the whole of Ekiti State. You've moved communities. What do you see? When you see buildings, you know, even the ones that look modern, what do you see? At that time, you see story buildings that are finished. Nobody is living in them. Grass would have overgrown them. When you ask where the owner is, he's dead. Then you see some others that are, you know, being constructed. They've not finished, but then grass has overgrown them. Where is the owner? He's dead. He said, what's that got to do with it? I said, look, if you sit down and ask, people tell their children, don't come and build here, they will kill you. Build. So Ekiti people generally build, grow. Today, they want to tell you leave Lagos. The Lagos people who are not Lagosians themselves are asking Lagosians they are asking other people to leave Lagos. Is Tinubu a Lagosian? No, he's not. Me, my uncle, Justice Ademola Adeoba, was Chief Justice of Lagos. He's from me. He's my uncle. A former Deputy Governor of Lagos State. Alaja Shinot Ojuku. It's my auntie. It's from Ekiti. It's from the Deputy Governor of Lagos State. I can go on. Okpeyemi Bamidele has understand it now that sort of is to be from the same Oketoro in Ekiti. So why am I saying all of this? These people are just gaming you. They're just opportunists. What are they doing with the opportunities? What are they doing with the opportunities? What? Now, if you follow through, let me stay with Angela Adebayo. Please don't remove the picture, please. She said, wow, okay, now I see. She said, well, I will do something about that. What about the structural one? So that again, I said, look, Ekiti is said to be fountain of knowledge, academicians and all that. Where are the industries? Why are there no industries? People go to school, graduate. There's no place for them to work. They go to look for jobs other places. Pay their taxes in all those other places. Develop those other places. Then the spiritual one combines to it. They're afraid to go home to build anything. They develop, go and check. She said, wow, what are we going to do about that? I said, well, what are you going to do about it? They say, wait, don't worry. The structural one, what do you suggest? I said, Your Excellency, if I were your husband, I would look for a way to make agriculture attractive to young graduates. The elections are coming. That was the season for his re-election. I said, the elections are coming. Even if you Take this as part of your campaign budget. Pick 10 young graduates from the 16 local governments, each from 10 each. Give them a loan of $500,000 that time to go into agro-allied businesses in their local government. It might not be their town for this issue of they will kill you or not kill you. Their local government, they say, wow, that's a good idea. What are we? Okay, who is going to? I said, let somebody write the proposal. That he said, no, you write it. Angela, that time I had a live television program and MITV. It was called generations.com then. Program I was running was for parenting and parent-child communication. I have not stopped. She compelled me to stay and write that concept. I did. We are not talking of a time where you could just, no, we're talking of looking for business. Of course, I had my laptop, but then I wasn't carrying a printer. So I had to stay back, type all of that, wrote the concept, and luckily went to give the paper to her. No fee, no dime till tomorrow. I'm not indicting her on anything because it wasn't that I was interested. I was looking for. I don't think that there's nobody that is I've known that's in government. I'd say I come. No, I stay away. Actually, mainly, unless I'm asked for, unless there's something that needs to happen. This woman, forget what happened with the concept, forget what happened, which is another story, but that's not what this is about. That's a woman, that's a mother, that's a leader, that's a Christian woman, genuinely concerned about the welfare of the people that she has, well, been picked to help, support, lead. I left. I didn't know what happened. Years later, of course, they lost the re-election anyway, but before then, before the election, she did something which the people who are running to America to go and look for endorsement and, are not doing. With everything they have. Been in the Senate for how many years? It's about them, and the sycophants around them. This woman, Angela Adebayo, did something about what she said she's going to do something about the spiritual thing. And anybody can say whatever they like. This woman is central to the development that happened in Ekiti from that time going forward. This woman invited, she didn't go to Egypt, she brought Zion. This woman invited evangelist Reinhard Bonnke for a crusade, a prayer crusade in Ekiti, in Ekiti State. And arguably, from the time of that crusade, you can argue, you can say whatever. Before that crusade, there's a place called the Sawmill on the old Inyi Road between my hometown and Adekiti. So that was where anything, it was all bush, even up to that. And we're talking 2000, I'm not talking 1924, no. But from the time of that crusade, development in terms of structures, in terms of people start building things. Anybody, the pictures should be there in the archives. Go and look at Ado, that period, and look at Ado Ekiti. Now, a mother, a God-fearing woman, but then that is in a place where, well, what I'm going to say now is so funny. In a place where supposedly everybody is together, is everybody together? What's happening there now? I've seen all sorts of embarrassing posts on content on social media about the state government making a budget of 68 million naira for primary health care, while budgeting about 700 million for purchase of vehicle for the House of Assembly. The healthcare budget for the House of Assembly in Ekiti State, members of the House of Assembly in Ekiti State, is more than the healthcare budget, primary healthcare budget for the entire state. Opportunists. And to think that at some point, you know, the issue they had with Adebayo's husband that time is that he didn't grow up here. He's not from here. He's from outside. We want somebody that is. The next one came. It was the same thing. He's not from here. Fayemi came. He's not from here. He's from outside. We want somebody. We want people who are grown here, who are homegrown, to lead us. They are the ones that can lead us. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable discussing this, but then I'm sorry, there's no painless way to cure cancer. I'm sorry. We should stop sounding politically correct because of what we want to eat. If it's about opportunities, I won't be here. And so it is for my saying, no, I don't want to be part of you that I'm here. That's what put me in trouble with them, not for lack of opportunities. But I will not take opportunities to game other people. No. The present governor of Ekiti State is a thorough, complete, homegrown, well, call it politician, call him person. He grew from the civil service up to the permanent secretary. He's a governor. His government is budgeting 68 million naira for primary health care. I've not seen those issues refuted in any media post. I've not seen any government statement, not seen any. I'm flying once again the Canadian flag. You see these glasses I have on here? Eh? If it falls on the ground now and break, I won't break it deliberately anyway. If it falls on the ground and break now, it will be replaced at no cost to me, except the time I will spend there checking my eye, checking whatever. That's what government does for people. Why is there opportunists? I'm one of you. I should be the one there. Opportunists. Why is budgeting 68 million naira for primary health care in Ekiti State? Just this last week or last 2 weeks now, the person in Abia, that again, some agents of destabilization, some opportunities on their own are fighting him for doing things to better the lives of people in Abia State. Just this last week or last 2 weeks, he they signed a bill for care of elderly people, paying them monthly stipend, health care. Same Nigeria. He hasn't spent 4 years. Three people who had all spent for 4 years are ganging up to say they must remove him. Why? Because the person at the center is himself an opportunist who only plays to the gallery for people, his sycophants and bootlickers around him, not for national benefit. So tell me, Nigerians are the most patriotic people in the whole world, because Nigeria happens to all Nigerians on a daily basis, but they're still holding on to, yes, we are Nigerians. You are only acceptable if you can overpower every other person and they call you to say, okay, come, now, don't wait now, let's approve. Nnamdi Kanu spoke. You might not like the way I don't like the way he talks, no, but all of us don't talk the same way. It's not everybody who's listening to me who like the way I'm talking now, no, it's not, can be. But you have people in that Nigeria who have carried arms against Nigeria, against the entity, the sovereignty of Nigeria, carried arms, fought the government. We can't fight nobody. He said, let's protect ourselves. If not, okay, let us go on our own. He's the first person that said, let us go on our own. Wait. The people, look, it just seems that in Nigeria, might is right. Terrorism is right. Force is right. The people who started this might have just started as a game, really. I keep saying it tomorrow. Sama Dubelo, I love his person, his everything. He might just have been playing politics, but he didn't know the kind of monsters he was brewing, breaking up. Where is his replacement in the whole of the North? Where is his replacement? Who? What did Ahmadu Bello loot? What did he steal? It's not. I want to develop the North. Rightly or wrongly, I want to develop the North. The people he fought for today, what have they done for the North since him? There's a mad rush to capture the center. For what? I had the privilege of visiting the previous Sultan of Sokoto when I was a youth copper. We were very warmly, beautifully welcomed in the palace to see the Sultan. I'm a Christian. I had the privilege of visiting Uno in the old Sokoto state because of one person. The Sarkin Sudan of Uno, Laji Malami. As a youth copper, we're doing a program. We needed support for our program. We established a soft drink company in Uno. The amount of money his son, his relation, his son, that became captured the center, Get to the center. Yes. Whatever, Attorney General. The amount of money he's alleged to have that is in, well, being tried for, that's indicted over. What has he built in Sokoto? What? What has he built? And through him, the extension of several others. A few days ago, somebody that the EFCC wants, for whatever reason, it's not my business, they want you, when you go and answer, was not in the country, returning, and it is reported widely in the media that his supporters blocked the law enforcement officials from arresting him. El-Rufai, Nasir El-Rufai. So what you are saying is people can do things and get away with them. I'm not saying he done anything. If there hasn't case to answer, what would they go to? So if you are not afraid for anything, why are they blocking? Why are you making noise? They're going to arrest me. If you didn't do anything wrong, why would they be looking for you to arrest you? But you could go to Kenya, not Murtala, not Nnamdi Azikiwe, not Murtala Mohammed, not Aminu Kano Airport. No, you could go to Kenya and abduct somebody for saying, stop killing my people, stop killing us. Let this country called Nigeria also benefit. I'm here to tell my Biafra story. I'm bringing all of this up so that but they're playing big drums now for something crazier than Biafra. Because like I've said it in that book, this time it wouldn't be two groups of people fighting any one group, no? No. Look at what is happening. Everybody's now waking up. We are middle belt, we are not, no. Even in the core north itself, we are Hausas, we are not Fulanis. Look at what is happening. Meanwhile, this president has what it takes to solve this problem instead of running to America or Turkey. Yeah. Instead of running to Egypt for solutions, for something you can't do. This president has not learned that cause is he that trusts in the arm of the flesh. The people who are closest to you, who you trust, who you believe, the same way you did deals and put other people aside, same way. The biggest example is probably Chief Abafemi Awolowo. Yeah. The biggest example. He probably meant well all those years. No, people must be free in the middle belt. People must be free in the northwest. Why must you subjugate them? It could be playing politics, but at the same time, there's merit in that, in those, postulation and thinkings and behaviors and practices. Then, what happened? We established last people say, "Oh, you can't come here." They put him in jail. Yeah, they put this guy in jail now for saying, "Don't kill my people." Okay, you can say they are not the same thing. As a matter of fact, what Nnamdi Kanu's issue has more merit than whatever issue Chief Awolowo. He was a politician. He was for office, for political office. So they outwitted themselves politically, and the people who had power put him in jail. Rightfully or wrongfully, I keep saying that. Now, when we talk about jihadist crusaders, Nigeria, a harvest of opportunities. The people in the north, you can call them jihadists if you like, yes, because I'm not the one who brought it up. No, the people who did the January 1966 coup said that part of the reasons that coup is to prevent a jihad. What has been happening in Nigeria since then? Are they hiding it now? With the number of people wanton killing of even Muslims. That don't believe in the branch of Islam that they believe in. Okay? Now, I will show you a picture. We're getting there. We're getting to my Biafra story. It's still part of my Biafra story, all of it. And by the way, I'm writing a new book. It is called Biafra, the non-Nigerians. No, it's not what you think. Well, when you read it, you understand. The non There have been Nigerians who are no, this one can be a Nigerian. Yeah. From all over Nigeria. The non-Nigerians. Writing that. But first, I'll show you a picture now. So you understand where this rain has really, okay? I asked the question, Sahamad Bello, Tafawa Balewa, Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, where are their replacements? There's none. They have greedy and selfish individuals and sycophants around them from all of the regions, not one region. What the North is suffering from today is leadership crisis in itself. You have had greedy individuals, and I will show you. Not nation builders, not even northern builders. No, building nothing. It's name. We are Islamic cleric elders. We are Arewa Consultative Forum elders. No, we don't have any relationship with the people. You have no programs for the people. You have no interest. If you have interest in the people, there would not be children roaming the streets of the North. There would not be the number of children who are not in school in the North. There would not be the number of Northerners who are living in IDP camps in the North. I can go on and on. You are not for North. You are greedy individuals. That man will be crying in his grave, Samad Bello. He has his own flaws, but nothing near what you guys are doing. Nothing. All of us have our flaws. Please, kindly help me to put up the picture of the head of state in 1966 and the regional military governors. I want to show you something. You are living in the present. You think anything that's happening now is an accident. I want to show you something and also link it to something else that is happening in plain sight now that you are not even linking anything to. Something that has the potentialities with every other thing that's going on. And when it explodes, and who is going to stop you from exploding? President Donald Trump or America? No, they have their own national interest. Where is your own national interest? Anything they come to do in Nigeria is for a purpose. They need Nigeria for something. They need that space, not your unity, not your no. It even pays them better that you are not united. It pays Britain better that they are not united. Look at these guys in this picture. Our fathers, our grandfathers. General Rossi in the middle was a major general. You have yeah, Major Usman Hassan Katsina, military governor of the Northern State. Next to him is Lieutenant Colonel Adekunle Faji. Be listening to as I'm mentioning their ranks. 1966. Listen. Then after Major General Aguirre, you have Lieutenant Colonel Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. Lieutenant Colonel. That no dash, no fast-forwarded promotion. They went to school. They earned it, including Major Usman Hassan Katsina. That was his rank. Due rank. And lastly, after Lieutenant Colonel Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu is Lieutenant Colonel David Ejo. That is the profile of Nigerian Army that time, 1966. When you begin to talk about equitability, did anybody put anybody to sleep to say, don't go to school, don't join the army? No. But what is going to happen next would, you guys are not thinking, you're not reasoning, you're not thinking, you're not linking anything from then to now. You're not. If there was another military officer higher than Major Usman Hassan Katsina, sorry, just need to get this right. That's okay. He would have been there with them. He probably would have been there in place of. I need to let anybody correct me. That is Hausa Fulani Muslim at that time. Some, unfortunately, had died in the been, which is still my issue with that coup. Why did you kill people? Why didn't you just arrest people? You know, but I'm coming. Things went into a limbo. Like now, things are in the limbo now, eh? Until by this time, 1966, Murtala Mohammed was a captain, but who liked to be considered a major. I read the history books. Is a captain, was a substantive captain, parading himself as a major. Murtala Mohammed. Opportunism. And then what happened in July down the road happened, led by him. And they saw the opportunity. Aguirre wants to say, I'm supreme leader, supreme commander. He saw the opportunity to also call himself supreme commander. I'm talking Murtala Mohammed. It's documented. But he wasn't this, he was captain, he wasn't even major. But because Gowon was a senior, he was a lieutenant colonel, the pressures around him and then the British and the American advisors or whatever didn't support him. Gowon ended up. But even by that time, Murtala led for them to succeed. Why isn't Nnamdi Kanu still in jail? Their plan was to succeed from Nigeria. It took the intervention of Musa Dagash who was, I think, the permanent secretary of something that time, and who is the other one? The Chief Justice of Nigeria at that time, Justice Adetokunbo Ademola, and Sule Kyari or somebody, yeah, that was head of service, to convince him that look, see, calm down. You need the South. You need. It took a Yoruba person and the other two Northerners to say no. And who was not part of that whole thing? The Igbos that have been decimated. The officers have been removed. So, and that was when, to compensate him, Gowon promoted a captain that had been forming a lieutenant colonel to a lieutenant colonel. Why did I go back to that narrative? And of course, within whatever it was, the major was a general. Yeah, after leading federal troops to be slaughtered in trying to cross the Niger, for which his superiors removed him, he never forgave them. But today, he's a hero, right? His name is an airport, Murtala Mohammed Airport. Nigerians make a habit of applauding treasonous individuals, divisive individuals. And then you keep maltreating people who just say we want to be. When I say Chief Awolowo probably is, and others should learn from him, really. By the time all of that, they were telling him, no, don't succeed, don't worry, you can be, okay, you won't be the head of state, Gowon will be the head of state, but, be lieutenant colonel, stay in the army signal and all of that. He was still there, feeling good, still planning on how he would remove Gowon, which they did eventually. They brought Chief Awolowo. He was there. As I proceed in my Biafra story proper, I would say what he did that time. Of course, positioning himself, expecting that naturally he's a person that is going to, all through the military era, he was there with them until 1979 election. And they showed him their color. It was still his adversary, Ojukwu, who called him the best president Nigeria ever had when he died. The people he connived with to spite the face of the whole of Nigeria, to maltreat and subjugate, as it were. Throughout that period of the Civil War, who were, for whatever it is, who released him from prison? We said the last episode. Ojukwu could have refused that it's not releasing him. Nothing would have happened. The popular story is that Ojukwu started the Civil War. Ojukwu was this, Ojukwu was the like. Why is Nnamdi Kanu there? Don't kill my people. Ojukwu, don't kill my people. Yeah. And then Ojukwu was villain. The whole of it. If those three civil servants, public servants, could convince Muritala that, look, it's better to hold everything together. Your guess is now as good as mine as to what would have happened in Aburi. Who are the people? We keep saying Britain, Britain, Britain. Those three people, I just mentioned their names. I said to Muritala, no, stay, don't secede. So we're mentioning Nnamdi Kanu and secession and Biafra as if that was the Igbos that want to succeed in Nigeria. It was a case of, okay, if you don't want us, leave us alone now. Let's go now. Till now. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Yoruba man. He's a Muslim. Although the northern Muslims don't think he's Muslim enough. One of the crimes, of course, is his wife is a pastor. Okay. The vice president, Chetima, is a Muslim. But then again, he's a Muslim from the northeast part of Nigeria, yes. He's not Muslim enough, no matter what, no matter. By next episode, I will tell you guys a story about a great man I once had, Malamukta. And this Boko Haram issues. And I'm like, excuse me, are you for real? What are you doing in my gate? About 15, 18 years ago, this incident. Look at the guy down. He's roaming about. Look at Sari Dokubo down there. He's free. He's a king. He's living large in the Niger Delta with arms. Do and undo. He's free. Nothing is happening to him. Look at Tompolo. I have nothing against them as individuals. But how has the government singling them out and settling them in different ways better the lives of the people of the Niger Delta? No. How has it improved fishermen applying their fishing trade? No. Gumi is there canvassing for terrorists to be paid. He's walking free in Nigeria. Moving, still sowing seeds of discord. Going to the southwest, insisting that Sharia must be adopted in the southwest. Awo went to prison for saying people in the north central and the northeast could join a political party, not religious. But number one, Awo was a Christian, remember. I'm not making this in Christian, but then you see, there's no other way to look at what is going on. And then you look at today. Look at today. I've asked this question on more than one episode of this program. Why has it been that when northern Muslim military officers retire, most of them end up as emirs? Go and check the percentage. Check the northern emirs, look at their background. Military, police, custom, all of those uniform services. Go and check their background. The current Sultan of Sokoto retired as a general. Did he even retire? I think it was the ascension to the throne that made him to now leave the army. But while he was in the army, where was he? These things are not accidents. So when their names pop up, when they talk about sponsors of terrorism and all of that, I don't have data to back it. The people who have the data to back it just still say allegedly, like they say, sponsors one way or the other. But when you look at the backgrounds, but remember, we're talking partly here nationalism, patriotism. What would be the reason for which you would rather team up with foreign elements to destabilize your country, all in the name of religion? What would be your reason? . There's no gain saying the fact that this is from one part of Nigeria to the other. It's not the other way around. It's true. I don't know of any Nigerian Christian cleric from the South who says a particular mode of doing anything must be forced on the North. I don't know of any. And then you keep doing this and you think that there will be peace. And people are saying, look at Igbo, he's roaming free. They've gone to meet the president and then they remove his name from wherever they put it before. He's free there. He took arms. Him, God. When did anybody see Nnamdi Kanu with a gun? Please show me a picture. He spoke. All of them spoke. All of them are still speaking till now. All of them are still making threatening. Igbo has gone quiet, as it were, outside, but his symbol, his face, his person, his name still represents something. For he's still there. He's not just as vocal as Nnamdi Kanu. So would we now put a man in jail, leave him there? You are not responding to the issues that he raised, or he's raising, he represents still. People have spoken crazier things. I will show you one now. In the spectrum of crazy. It's not crazy because, again, he quoted people. So the question now is, if these issues had been there since, why are we holding an individual? Why are we holding a people accountable where all others have trodden that path, still treading those paths, and nothing's happening to any other person? Please, guys, can you kindly play me President Goodluck Jonathan's lecture, his video? Hear what he has to say about Nigeria. And he wasn't speaking, he said it in that video. It's not me, it's not my quote. He quoted people who were supposed to have built Nigeria even before him. And yet, nothing is changing. When we come back from playing that video, okay, we'll play, after that, we'll play a video produced for today's program. And then we'll take questions. There are many questions that are coming here already. Let's play President Goodluck Jonathan's video, please.
Set my mind. I started thinking about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders. And I feel that probably this will help us to have a conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought forth, not to bore you. First, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This is accredited to Sir Ahmadu Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. The third, and I quote, since 1914, The British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country.
Okay, thank you so much, guys, for watching that video, listening to President Goodluck Jonathan. Somebody said Nigeria is a geographical entity. Yeah, somebody, you heard him, not me, and he himself, he said, it's not my word, these are not my words. If Obafemi Awolowo called Nigeria a geographical expression, it's not a country. It was in the state of becoming. In the state of becoming. Still in a state of becoming. He quoted Sir Ahmad Bello too. He's still in that sense of the British try to do this. When are you guys going to stop calling the British? Guess what? If the British is still doing anything today, it is you. It's entirely your fault. The president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they're planning a state visit for him. And that's your state visit. At what cost? What would you have ceded? What did you cede? What did you bargain with for the First Lady to appear in America in a prayer meeting in America, for the President of America to mention? What did you cede? What is it costing Nigeria? As we started this program, and we're talking about people wanting to show there's Christian genocide, there's Muslim genocide, I say, look, you guys, they're just setting you up. All they want is a military base in Nigeria. What's happening now? A drone base, right? Go and look at all the places where they have placed bases. What's happening in them? Okay. 2 weeks ago or last week, people were celebrating American troops are in Nigeria. Are they not in Nigeria while all of these issues are still, people are still being killed on a daily basis? They cannot solve your problems for you. Stop focusing on 2027. Focus on now. Solve the problems of the ordinary persons. And when you talk about the ordinary persons, you think it's north-south. It's not. It's not north-south. Up there in the north, in the core north, in the core northwest, I will play you another video. You will hear an elder from a community share what is happening with members of the community, what is happening with them, to them, from their own people terrorizing them. And what do you now think that those people will do when they now cross over to some other place where they feel they are untouchable? When somebody is saying the Sharia head, why does he want to be the Sharia head? Other people will go in his name to dominate, to mess up other people who are peace in their own way of peace. As messed up as the politicians in Ekiti come from Ekiti, yes, are they? I don't know of any Ekiti family. If you know of any, raise your hand. I mean extended family that does not have Muslims, Christians, and traditionalists as family members. I don't know of any. And they live peacefully. There's no problem. They attend each other's. There's no Sharia, no. You know, why do you keep wanting to force things to continuously divide, create problems because you want to dominate? For what reason? What's your dominance about? What have you done with your dominance of the North? As it were. I come from a family, me. Eh? I have first cousins who are Muslims. I mean, Muslims. I'm a Christian. Our grandfather go to Ekiti State, southwest Nigeria. Go and find out. Go to Afikwe to go and find out. You know, there's somebody that used to say, go and find out. Go and verify. Go and find out. Our grandfather was called Babelesha. You know what Elesha means? Our grandfather was reputed to wake dead bodies, bring them back to life. My father was a Christian. My mother was a Christian. I'm a Christian. I have a cousin that just retired from the University of Ilorin as a lecturer. He's a Christian. He's a Muslim. Allah just, to that I just mentioned the while ago, was a Muslim. In family. Nobody beefing anybody over anything. But you have a community where somebody is saying you are not kneeling, praying the same way I'm praying. They are Muslims. They kill them. And then that's what you want to extend to the whole of Nigeria. That's the biggest problem they have with this guy behind him. Not just him. He's just a symbol, a representative. The biggest problem they have with the Igbos is that the Igbos will never embrace Islam. I'm sorry. I'm not a religious, no. Believe in what you pray, in what you want. Let others pray what they believe. But that's the biggest problem they have. Because you need to understand these things culturally. If you don't, you miss it. If you could not do it, how many centuries ago? Somebody wrote a paper situating your location in Nigeria, the Hausa, the Fulani dominance, if you like. 1804, the jihad. That's what is annoying. Forget this issue of he talk about Christian genocide. No, he situating your arrival, the arrival as a dominant group in Nigeria just about 200 years ago. And you want to now obliterate every other group that have been there before you? That is the other reason why I'm flying the Canadian flag today. I said it earlier, I wasn't born in Canada. But I am here, a bona fide senior, a bona fide pensioner in Quebec, in Canada. Because the system is designed on merit, for merit. You do things, you qualify for things, you get. No, Nigeria, no. It has to be, this group must dominate to let their own people. And who people? Which people? Who is not your people? If you say you're a president of Nigeria, which is where the issue of this current president, when I say he has it all, what has happened with the electronic transfer or no electronic transfer, transmission or transfer, whichever one, we are speaking English. When it comes to doing the right thing, we begin to use words to confuse people who don't understand, If you could get your Senate to dance to your tune, get your Senate to get Nigeria back to region. Yeah, you can do it. You can get your Senate to get Nigeria to get back to regional governance. You can do it. Let the regions sort their issues out within their regions. This is a time of peace to do it peaceably. Somebody said, I read, somebody said, Miliki, you are talking, why did Jonathan not? Jonathan called a national conference, the sovereign national conference. In this same book here, I said it when I wrote this book 16 years ago. I said they are calling for sovereign national conference. They are not interested in any conference, the same parochial gathering of geriatrics coming to talk who is going to them, not any group, not even the group they say they are requesting. And what happened? What happened in that national conference? Let me share his personal experience. My immediate elder brother was part of that conference. When he was going, I gave him a copy of this book. I said, look, at least as a whatever, can they just look at this and say, look, let's prevent this guy? He gave me, but he took the book. He didn't give it back to me. He took it and said, look, they're not interested in things like this. I'm not telling you, he's there. You can, if you, by the time you Google Adebayo, one word, you find his name is P.A.K. Adebayo. He was a former vice president of Nigeria Labour Congress. He was part of that national conference. All the recommendation, what has happened? Because somebody still believes that it's until a particular group wants dominate, then make the center weak in terms of control and remove our keep that have to be
Recording in
controlled.
progress.
Take actions about things you are in a position to do them. Now, no other person except the military, no other. Obasanjo tried. Okay, you people, he wants a third time. He wants it. Okay, he didn't. No. If this person wants a third time, he can't, because this is Nigeria. Nigeria is not Cameroon. Nigeria is not Uganda. It can't happen in Nigeria. So just die the matter. It's not possible. It can't go a third time. Can't be president for life. Forget it. Okay? It's Nigeria. You try, well, okay? You have the count. Erroneously so too, because you are going to ask state governors to decamp and join your party. The state governors are not the people. You still have not gotten that. Do what will help the people. You have a once in a lifetime chance to be a hero, President Tinubu. You have a once in a lifetime chance to be a hero. Some people, you are doing things. Yes, you're doing things, but you are doing things is inverting what Sardauna tried to do in the North. But what he did in the North, what's the result today? What you are doing, trying to create a South that doesn't exist. You listen to President Jonathan. There's no South. We have different peoples of the South. You have different peoples of the North. It's policies that can bring people together, benefit people. It's not force. The aborted coup of October last year, what do you think would have happened if it had succeeded? It would have been bloodier than July, than January 1966, than July 1960. It would have been bloodier. Because their plan would be to remove anybody who is up there and replace the same thing Murtala Mohammed did. That's what they would have done. And you think it's going to stop, the trying for something is going to stop at this time, that last October, or this year, or next year? No. What is the reason? The center is too attractive. The center is too powerful. There's too much money in the center. Let the regions, okay? The state governors, people will resist it. Everybody wants to be in charge. Everyone wants to form big. That's the problem. Climb down from your high horses and think Nigeria. Think that flag. I'm proud to fly the Canadian flag. Canada, in spite of the limited amount of time I've spent in Canada, has made provisions to answer to basic needs that any human beings will have. Is it all rosy? I have studied, I'm studying. My book about Canada is in 2 years. It's for release in 2020. This 2020. It's for release in 2027, not 2028. Yeah. It's for release in December 2028, coming to Canada. Yeah. And I will share all of these experiences. I will play you our video for this edition of the program. I will come back, I will tell the brief story, the brief portion of my Biafra story for this episode here today. We'll take a few, well, not too many. We'll take the questions and I will close, okay? Let's play our video for today, people. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. On
Smoke
TikTok
rose over the southeastern towns of Nigeria as the clouds of the Biafra War gathered, and streets that once carried the laughter of children became silent with tension. Families moved through the night carrying what little personal belongings they could take. Children clung to their parents' hands as they walked through unknown terrains that would later become front lines, and uncertainty followed every step, fear spreading from bullets to whispers and rumors that no one fully understood. This video traces those early days and the patterns that grew from them, showing how the Biafra War created a fertile ground for those who sought to profit from fear, displacement, and chaos while ordinary Nigerians bore the consequences. It examines how religion and politics became tools for personal gain, and how those same dynamics continue to shape Nigeria today. If you are Nigerian or care about the future of Nigeria, stay with us until the end. Please subscribe to Say a Prayer, guys. May Nigeria never happen to you. Share this video and join the discussion in the comment section. This is a community committed to telling the truth about Nigeria and Nigerians. During the Biafra War, life became a series of survival decisions where every journey could lead to safety or to tragedy. Families traveled in silence, crossing bridges and rivers, forests, farmlands and strange terrains that seemed endless at night. Towns emptied as homes were abandoned, and adults whispered plans and warnings that children could only sense. Despite it all, in the midst of this chaos, some found ways to benefit: opportunists taking advantage of disorder, elites consolidating power while ordinary citizens carried the weight of hunger, exhaustion, and uncertainty. Yet, the opportunists have not given up. In Nigeria today, there are regions where terrorism and insurgency force people to leave their communities or live under threat, where killings and attacks are justified by ideology, religion, or political ambition, and where militias and armed groups exploit divisions to strengthen their influence. In these regions of Nigeria, ordinary citizens find themselves caught between forces beyond their control while those who manipulate the system thrive. Majek Fashek captured the essence of this vicious cycle in his song Religion is Politics. Born on February 13, 1963, in Benin City, Edo State, South Nigeria, Majekodunmi Fasheke, popularly known as Majek Fashek, is amongst the greatest musicians in Nigeria's history. He was known as someone that could see through the facades of power. In his 1991 hit song, Religion is Politics, he detailed how faith could be twisted into a weapon, how belief could justify violence, and how the vulnerable are always the ones who pay the price. The song connects the displacement and fear of Biafra with the insecurity and ideological manipulation of present-day Nigeria in a way that is both haunting and painfully accurate.
Religion is politics. They my hypocrites, Pharisees. Some claim they are Muslims. Some claim they are Christians. Some say they are Rastafarians. Some say they are Juju Sabbath. I is a one. We all are one people.
The Biafra War was not an isolated tragedy, but the beginning of a cycle, where fear and displacement created opportunities for some, and where ordinary Nigerians learned that survival often depended on navigating dangers they could not control. The parallel in the Nigeria of today is clear to see. Insurgents and extremists carry out killings, as political and religious opportunists manipulate divisions for personal gain, and some of the citizens who suffer are the same ones whose families were shaped by war and chaos in the past. In Nigeria, violence is now normalized and monetized, and the people of Nigeria continue to experience insecurity as part of their daily lives. Majek Fashek's music is a reminder that these crises are not random, they are cultivated. That fear and manipulation have long been part of the structures that allow some to thrive while ordinary citizens pay the price. Breaking the cycle is possible if Nigerians refuse to remain passive. Nigerians need to engage in inclusive governance and support policies that protect the vulnerable rather than enrich the powerful, while using education, dialogue, and civic participation to challenge extremist ideologies and opportunistic manipulations. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with friends and family. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you do not miss upcoming videos in this series. Our full live streams on this topic are now available on our YouTube channel at May Nigeria Never Happened to You. Please like, comment, share, and stay engaged. May Nigeria happen for all Nigerians, and for friends of Nigeria.
Thank you for watching. Like always, as always, you can always watch that video as many times as you like by going downloading from our YouTube channel. Thank you so very much for that. Well, we chose Majek Fashek's religion and politics today. Reluctantly, I would say reluctantly. Why do I say reluctantly? Because again, last year, the 1st of June last year, we held a symposium, okay, in memory in honor of Majek Fashek and his work. And in the course of, as we concluded that symposium, we announced that the symposium is an annual event. We have designed it as an annual event. We announced that the edition for 2026, 1st of June 2026, would be, the theme would be religion and politics. I didn't, as at the time we were taking that decision last year, I didn't think that Nigeria would be so politically and religiously volatile as it is now. Even then, somewhere along the line before we released, of course, we released the deliberations from that symposium in a book, in a publication. It's available online at Amazon and other online bookstores. Okay, okay. I think my technical people you can see the book there. That's that publication. Inside that book, we said it there that the theme for 2026 will be religion and politics. We're saying it, we didn't know things would be as they are today. So I didn't want to use that song because I was like, let's reserve it for them. But then no, there's no other thing that speaks to the madness that's out there now. In terms of people, opportunists using religion to enrich themselves while they are wasting life of innocent, dependent, poor Nigerians. Using religion as a cloak. What are you gaining? You won't die? What are you gaining? I said it earlier, I will say it again. Why don't you use your religious good behavior to convince another person to join your religion? Instead of, if you don't join, I will kill you. If you don't accept, you will die. Now, I will say something I don't like saying, but please, ever considered what will happen if the other people you are insisting you are terrorizing, you're carrying arms, decides to carry arms too? Have you considered what will happen? Have you? General Danjuma, last episode we played this video. He said, arm yourself. Have you considered what will happen if like other parts of Nigeria arm themselves? It is war. That's what it's called. And that's why I wrote this book 60 years ago. Let's answer titled it, Lest We Forget. Lest We Forget is not, oh, like Biafra must come back again. No, no, no. Don't let us forget the things that happened in those times so that they don't happen again. Is anybody listening? No. Nobody's listening. Last episode, as I begin to bring this particular one to a close, I stopped by when I said Nigerian troops. No, they are not Nigerian troops. When I was reviewing the video, I slip of tongue. When as Port Harcourt fell into federal hands, federal troops' hands, as Aba became besieged through the Kotek-Mene sector, Aba and all of that, more and more people, Nigerians, from that part of Nigeria, well, flooded inland. And as they flooded inland, the Biafran troops themselves, their command hierarchy also now needed good-looking structures for their command posts, the residence of their officers and all of that. Like I said last episode, that's how we lost our first home. A story building that my mother rented that we relocated when we left Port Harcourt. We lost that. They were kind enough, if you remember, to help us find another bungalow. That helped us even use military trucks to help us to move our things to that new bungalow. But as things became more tense, more refugees flooded into Umoba. That particular rural town is called Umoba. It's a very important, it was a very important railway town in the 60s, okay? And well, part of the 70s too. I don't know what's happening now, if the railway thing has been made that functional now, I don't know, okay? It's a very important trading post for produce. So the railway station was very important. The market, it's going to cost that rural town dearly in the war. As you know, maybe by next episode, I think I probably will get there next episode. Yes. You know, the bungalow that they helped us to move into, when things got tighter, some other group arrived, they wanted our home. You know, this time, they, like I said last episode, they didn't allow my mom to move any except just clothing items and, you know, kitchen things, but they didn't, equipment, TV, refrigerator, gas cooker, they didn't allow us to take any of those. They took them. Why am I telling you this? You don't own anything in the war situation, not even your wife, not your children, not your husband. You don't own nothing. It's what they say. Ask people who are being terrorized by these bandits. There's a video I said I was going to play, and they'll play it next episode of that man in Katsina. That bandits will say, come, Blake, I like your wife. That your second wife, I like her, bring her. In Nigeria, 2026. And somebody is there. All that he cares about is take Sharia to where? You cannot control the people that are looking up to you. You want to go into people that have their peace and going on their way to go and mess their own lives up too. Bandits will come and say, bring that your daughter, 40-year-old daughter. The man said, it's in the video, it's not me. Bring her, I like her. They finished, one finished with her. They said, another commander, Abi, I like her too. In northern Nigeria, today, 2026. And you people have mouth, you don't have shame. You are leaders, whether religious or political. You are campaigning for 2027 for what? You should campaign on the basis of what you are going to do for people. You're not campaigning on the basis of it's our turn. Because you say Muslim, I'm not a Muslim. It's a Christian, I'm from the north, it's my turn, it's not your turn. What have you been doing for the people? What? Why? How is it different from time of war? Soldiers came and said, leave. No, don't touch anything. Just take your clothing. We moved. This time, my grandparents, of course, home was there in Moba, but it was a small place. It couldn't take over. All of us ended up there first till our mother started looking for a house. The house our mother found was directly with just my grandparents' backyard farm that separates this house. It's on another street on the other side of Umuwie Road. Yes, this was my grandparents' home was in a road called Umuwie Road. So it's the farmland between my grandparents' house and that house. I'm mentioning this because there's a significance to it. Two, maybe more. We moved there, and the mother went and got all you could get was I think a room and a parlor. It was a bungalow. The family was living there, and some other tenants too. That was the only space we could get. Imagine from a whole house to another whole house to another house, room and parlor. Okay, yeah, that's war. That house is owned by a produce merchant that my mother moving to that house played a role in saving my life in that war. Not intentionally, not as if it was planned, no. The owner of that house was called, we used to call him Nigerian. Like I said, he was a very rich produce merchant. Also had properties in Port Harcourt that time, before everybody, and he too ended up back in Umok. Nigerian Anyehi from Nkweri. We know Nigerian Onyenkweri, no Nigerian the Nkweri man. That's what we used to call him. So that name stuck in my head as a child. We lived in that house with I think he had about 2 wives or so. All the small kids, all the children played. We were city people that had come to, so there was always that thing about the local children and us. But then we have come here, so we have to become like everybody else. We played together. Man was a kind man, really. Like I said, he was a produce merchant. Sometimes we go to pick palm kernel in his. By that time, there was still basic thing that used to happen before the war actually started. But by the time the war started, all those things wasn't. Soldiers took over places, even their warehouses became used for other things. But I'm moving into that house. It was from that house now that my aunt came. There was a nurse where this mark on my head happened. She came visiting and told my mother, I want Chile, that's me, to come with me and stay with me. I'm alone when I close, I'm alone. Maybe at least I have somebody with me. My mother agreed. She took me. We walked from Umoba, walked through several villages to get to Werenta. Werenta was where the refugee camp that she was working in a refugee camp, people from all, Umoba by itself, there were several refugee camps that you had, foreigners that were giving food. We go to check, people go to collect ration, that's what they were called then, relief, okay? But my mother living in Port Harcourt when she left, the only other thing that really set us back a little bit more was the second group of Nigerian Biafran soldiers that took over our home and every other thing that just asked us food, everything, they didn't let us take. It's from that our grandmother's house that we will go, we see refugees People who have come from other places to live there, hunting for lizards. Lizards. The first time we saw it, it was so surprising. So we now, myself and my siblings, there were four of us who were my immediate brother. I mentioned him earlier. Yeah, Chief P.A.K. Adebayo now, and my immediate younger brothers are two. We will now go to hunt on their behalf for lizards. We'll catch lizards, we'll go and give them. We'll catch rodents, we'll go and give them. Refugees, people from Akwa Ibom, Cross River, some parts of rivers have run, they don't know who to trust, they have run inland. Food was an salt. Salt was luxury. Salt. The one they tell you will kill you now. People cook food with salt. Where do you find it? People go and somehow smuggle seawater, somehow sold seawater to be used for cooking. Those who had enough will buy a large quantity of seawater and boil. The place, there's no sea close to Maba, but somehow, people smuggled seawater, brought seawater from, and sold. People will boil the seawater, waiting for it to, dry up and leave some cake things that looked like salt. They will scoop and keep and used to cook. My aunt took me to Owerinta in that refugee camp. That refugee camp was not just for only you had wounded soldiers, different. I described some in this book. When I first sent the manuscript to the publisher, they sent it back. They said, please, is it possible? Can you tone down some? As I say, it's what I saw. They said, no, maybe just one is enough. But I described how people with soldiers were carried into the camp, deformed, different parts of their bodies from, and there was nothing really to the medical people in that camp was one day I narrated in this book, one of the incidents I narrated. My auntie always said, don't come to the hospital or the medical, don't come, which is why she don't come there. But I don't, okay, yeah, it was this day that this palm front man entered and they carried me there. See, what are you doing here? She could, when she saw my head, she couldn't ask, what are you doing? And wow, I forgot the pain from my head. The stench was terrible. You saw soldiers in different forms, decaying, no medication to clean, even cleaning wounds, just water, on hot water in that camp. Until it was this injury, this accident, that they couldn't help me. There was no, I had to be taken back to Moba. Walk. It's not I said take, it's not, there's no walk with the pain, with the spine of the palm front still there, showing or out, showing. Part of still like a horn. I was walked back to Moba. My mother, what's up? I was sick. And they started using all sorts of local herbs and things to. You would think that would be the end of my ordeal. It wasn't. When I recovered, okay, they managed to cut off some part of they couldn't, it was like they have to dig it. They thought of dig how, but they put things that made the pain to subside, and but then managed to reduce the spine until it wasn't that showing, but then it was still inside my head. But they kept using local antibiotics, traditional herbs to just continue. When I recovered and became well, my elder sister, don't remember the one I said I would just drive my car and arrive, nothing will happen. That didn't arrive with anything because you couldn't. In a war situation, are you going to drive on top of people? People who are walking can't even walk fast enough. I tell my friend and family in Abuja, to be safe is better. I'm not hitting any panic button. No, I'm not. I'm sensible. My mother was sensible. It helped us survive. It helps us not to be in that category of people who didn't have salt, who didn't have anything when they eventually now arrived in their villages. My sister had gone to, my eldermost brother joined the army. The one after my sister, it was my elder brother, my sister, and then himself. Nobody recruited him to join the army, but he has always wanted to do things. He went to go and pad himself or wore multiple pants to look big, wore multiple shirts, and went to present himself for recruitment. The day my mother fainted. But he has gone. But then thank God he joined, because he's joining the army to that time. He eventually saved my own life later, down the road. When I say down the road, maybe a year and a half later, maybe not up to 2 years later, when the war ended in quotes. But my sister came. She had joined the army. She had gone to join the medical corps of the army too. She was also helping. When the Biafran troops recaptured Owerri, she was there with them. So that's when she returned to come and ask my mother that I should follow her to live with her in Owerri. They recaptured Owerri. Owerri had fallen to the federal troops, but the Biafran troops captured it again. So it was that second time she came with an army jeep, the Biafran army vehicle, my sister army. So me too, I was, what do I know, a kid. We were going, as we were passing all the military check where they were saluting, people were saluting. I feel good. My sister is, we arrived in Owerri. She didn't live in the barracks. We arrived in Owerri. I stayed with her in Owerri. That's why I'm going to end my Biafra story today. Okay? My arrival in Owerri with my sister, before Owerri itself now fell the second time to the federal troops, the Nigerian troops. Okay? But I went with her, stayed. Of course, in all of this time, there's no school. There's no school. Okay? What used to happen in that Umoba, before my sister came to pick bait, and I went with her to Owerri, in the mornings, because of air raids, and these air raids, there's one particular outstanding one that I can't forget. But before this particular one, every morning, all of us children will be gathered and be taken to the forest, palm plantation, actually, because the palm fronds cover, and they put spikes in general places, and so that even if there are paratroopers or whatever, but some other areas they put huts, and that's where we will be. Our parents will cook and give us, and sometimes they will come there. They will do the cooking there. That's where we'll be. We'll be in those children that you don't know from anywhere. Some refugees also joined some. We'll be there till late in the evening. We'll go home because there's usually no air in the night. Morning, daytime. They had the time that they will come. You will hear, you hear the machine guns that are put on towers, on whatever. We'll be in the bushes, safe in quotes, until one morning. My grandmother, I've mentioned it here, was a food vendor. She cooked local beans. I narrated it in this. I learned a whole lot of my entrepreneurial craziness from her. She had prepared, she would cook the beans overnight because it was local beans, takes time to cook. So, but that's not the story. The story here is that this particular day, all of us were, we would always end up from John's house, come to her house to stay, to get our own portion of the beans to eat. And then, of course, our grandmother played with her and all. And we didn't need to just cross from the backyard, the farm from the John's house, a house, the back, each other there. And suddenly, earlier than the normal time the air raid will happen, we hear boo, large bags. We ran into the back, the same farm at the back of the house. Okay, go take cover, we ran. What are you taking cover on? The cocoyam leaves. Cocoyam. What cover will cocoyam give you? That was commotion, that was pandemonium. Sorry. Myself and my immediate elder brother, we held ourselves under some cocoyam. We're there, burned down on the ground, on the farm there. And we just had, boom. Just by my immediate elder brother's head, just by his head, a huge shrapnel, obviously from an exploded bomb, all the way from the market. It was there on the ground. I think he kept that thing for years. I don't know if he had lost it. I don't know if he still has it. When the incident of bombing and the firing of anti-aircraft weapons had gone down and all of that, that's when we saw the thing by his head. My mother broke down. My grandmother broke down crying. Okay, we are crying. He didn't die. They didn't hit him, but then they're like, he would have. But bigger cry needed to come. My grandmother hadn't gone to the market. If she had gone, people were still coming to the house to come and buy the beans. If she had gone, we would have lost her. Because the main bomb, I think they were targeting the railway line, the railway station. The market is just behind the railway station. The bomb didn't hit the railway track, didn't hit the railway station. The bomb landed in the market. For many years, that crater was there. I don't know if it's still there. The crater of that bomb, people were burnt like animals in the market. We went to go to see. Our grandmother didn't want us to go, but children, we found our way. Had mangled bicycles, man. It made me to ask a question in this. Where is the memorial for all those innocent people killed? But there's no. That's not by the military, not by the so-called civilian administration that have come up. Nobody wants anything mentioned against Biafra to be anything to be mentioned. You can't erase reality. It's not possible. It's not possible. You can't erase me or burn this book. You made it impossible for it to be available there. Okay, go and remove it from the internet now. We didn't have cameras at that time. The camera we used to have were toy cameras. Where when we lost that other house, we didn't have any. With toy camera, we took normal pictures. We still go take the film for them to develop, but we didn't have them again. The soldiers took all of those. And I've always loved taking pictures. I would have taken pictures of those things from the market. It's horrible. Ogumabiri market was a huge market in Umoba. You can Google it, you can search. It's still there. The market is still there, but it's not what it used to be before now anymore. Except with the station. I will come back to this. You see, that's Nai John and his house. It was when Owerri fell to the federal troops the second time. I will just summarize it. I will come to it next episode. When I was alone in the house, my sister had gone off to the war front, packed things, food, put in a basket, and said, look, if anything happens, just take this basket, follow people where they're headed, just join them. I'm like, what's happening? Where are you going? I'm going to. She left. And of course, even before she left, you could hear rapid gun, heavy artillery, heavy gunfire. It was close. You could hear it. We couldn't go. I used to go to a stream, where I can't remember the name of that stream now, to play. We couldn't go because the last time we went, instead of just clear water, what was blood? We screamed and ran away. But since from that day, we didn't go to the stream again. Of course, it would be soldiers killed, some places further, and then maybe thrown inside the water, their blood in the water. I didn't go to that stream to play anymore. That was my best playground to go and swim in that stream every day. My sister goes, no school. What am I doing at home? Owerri felt like she said. She went to the war front. I was alone with the other neighbors in the compound. I will tell that story and how that from there took me to Nkweri eventually, where the war ended. Actually, the war ended while I was in Nkweri. And when I kept hearing people walking there, going to Nkweri, I followed. So listen, I followed. Say follow the crowd. The basket. I will share that story next fully. That journey from Owerri to Nkweri and what makes Nkweri significant. If you check Imo State in recent times, recent history of Imo State, the chief of staff of, I think, the immediate past, is it the immediate past or is it the person that's still there, of governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, his chief of staff is the son of Nai John, onye Nkweri. Nai John Anye. Hope Uzodinma. They were small then. Well, it's not that I don't know him. Not say I know him, but I ended up from Owerri. I ended up in their home, in their house again, no query. Just remembering that name, Nai John Nkwere. When we arrived in Nkwere, I'm like, Nai John. I begin to ask everybody, please, do you know Nai John? Can you imagine? Can you imagine arriving in Ikeja in Lagos or in New York, in Brooklyn, and they're asking if you know John? Arrive here in Montreal, go to any shop or any neighborhood and say, please, do you know John? That's what I was doing. Please, you know Nine John. Child, what did I do? That's the only thing I remember. Nine John. But remembering that name, my mother moving into that house, remembering that name, remembering that town that he was from, that town, saved my life. I'll tell you the concluding part of that story in the next episode. And then, so that you know that in war, you should just be careful of what you are asking for. The Igbos are this, the Igbos are that. We'll not agree. Keep them, let them go. Let them go. Where? And you are where? The people who are targeting all of you, you are best. You have a chance if you are together. But what do I know? What do I know? The first community member here said, do you believe the people of Nigeria could have done anything to stop Biafra War? They could have. Aburi was there. In the same greed. Is the same issue of, personal greed, not group. Forget anybody who is telling you how Fulani. They don't represent anybody. They represent themselves. They all agreed, let everybody go back to their regions. Let's operate on the basis of region. And they signed that agreement for Aburi. And then the same people who advised Muritala not to succeed must have been the same group who said to go on, I don't agree, don't sign that. If you sign it, all the oil will be there. Oil, till today. Oil kills our oil, oil, oil. Yet, there cannot be a gold refinery in Lagos, right? Okay. Second, here says, can you name who you believe will take Nigeria forward as president of the nation? It's not about naming an individual. It's about naming the characteristics or the qualities that that person should have. It's not about an individual. Anybody can misbehave. We've seen it. Everybody, and people get there with good intentions and then do other things because of pressure. First of all, also because they would have lacked in themselves what it takes to lead. You lead, you stamp your foot, or you resign. I will leave. I will resign. I will leave. Okay? So it's not about name. It's about anybody who should step forward to Nigeria must first and foremost be somebody who can unite. You can advance policies that, pull people together instead of the person there is still working and then even looking for foreign assistance to separate so that fortify his position, while some other people are telling him, listen, this is who we want this. So it's not an it's an idea. Somebody who can unify, because Nigeria has everything to be a very great country. Nigeria is still considered one of the richest country in Africa, even in your poverty-stricken, by reason of the conditions and livelihood of individual Nigerians. 3 here says, can you blame Nigerian youth for not protesting much, especially after the Lekki? The Lekki incident is unfortunate, but you don't stop. I've said it here. Form your own political parties now, Nigerian youth. Now. And we won't win. Not now. Form political parties on nationalist ideals to put people together, to put resources together. Money, you don't have money to do what? Have you tried crowdfunding to say it's for Nigeria? And then, of course, so long as the greed, the same greed is me, does not take over. My parents have told me that Nigeria was safe when they were growing up. What is the main reason insecurity is so rampant? This greed is it's not like me. I've talked about Sokoto just here, the same Sokoto where even the indigents can walk around freely themselves now. I talked about Sokoto. I talked about as youth corpers, we are our traveling across length and breadth of the old Sokoto state in an NYSC truck, presenting drama in boarding schools, drama that spoke to development issues, girl education, anti-child marriage. Yeah, I've not stopped. So I know that Nigeria. I know that Nigeria that I know the Nigeria of entering the Sokoto market in the youth corpers. I buy something of 2 naira. The person I buy something of 2 naira will give me something that's worth an additional naira for free. It doesn't care about where I came from. So guess who is making anybody to feel you are from any other place? These same so-called leaders. Greed. It's not the Hausa person, it's not the Fulani person, it's not the Yoruba person, it's these people who think just that by making people feel that they are different while they are fighting, they are busy looting and still use the same loot to subjugate you, to now make you do what they want done, not what you want done. That's how do Nigerians decide which news to take seriously and which to ignore? It seems the media space is not, it's a global thing now. I have seen things in the media that I refuse to comment about here because I'm not sure. There are things that scream me, but then when you look at them, is this one who is manufacturing this one. So it's not, it's even, look, listen. Alternative reality is an art in group control now. Lies. And now the truth. They make you question the truth and sell you lies, reinforce the lies, lobby to position the lies as the truth. For instance, Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist. Tompolo is not with an army. Asari Dokubo is not with an army. Toji, whatever his name is up there in the northwest, is not a terrorist, but he has an army. Igboho is not a terrorist. Sheigumi is not a terrorist because he is a cleric. That's your answer. So who do you want to believe? You believe your instincts. You believe what you see. Unfortunately, sometimes before you see something, by the time you're seeing something, it might be too late. Who is a terrorist? The ones that will go to a village and slaughter people for not converting to a particular religious sect. Or somebody, people go to do evangelism. I'm not saying people go to preach. If people like what you're saying, they will follow you. They don't like it's not by force. It should not be by force, must not be by force. There should be a legislation in Nigeria outlawing forcing people to convert. Nigeria is a secular state, yes, but there should be legislation to give teeth. Let people practice what they believe wherever they are. But because the people who control things want everybody to be like them, they will, no, they will rather force what they believe into the Constitution. And I don't know what anybody gains from that. I don't know. I don't know why I should want to see other people die. Everybody will die. General Buhari is gone. Awolowo is gone. I'm not talking about the ones that, unfortunately, we lost through the coups, through the civil war. I'm talking in peacetime, so-called peacetime. They lived. They had their chances to do things to benefit all Nigerians. They didn't. You still are there now. You are not. Isn't it a shame that somebody like Atiku Abubakar is still contesting to be president? It is right, he's a human being in Nigeria, yes. But isn't it a shame that he has not been able to mentor somebody else, not even his own children, to be the ones he's pushing? Isn't it a shame that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is still positioning himself to contest, positioning for an empire that is centered around his family? Isn't it a shame? Ask yourself the question. He is not there today. Where is his replacement? His son? Who's it? But he would not be there forever. No matter when we call criminality smartness, when we call deception smartness, when we call forgery smartness. But he will still, with all of those, he will still not be there forever. President Buhari was not there forever. He's not there anymore. Where are his children now? Where are his replacements? People are Buhari's 12 million votes. Buhari's 12 million. When are you going to learn? Where are the replacements in the north now? There's a huge leadership crisis. That is what the clamor for Atiku Abubakar is. El Rufai, who wants to listen to him? Who? How many people in the north can he bring together? The north. The person who is there now, how many groups in the south can he bring together outside of the greedy politicians around him? You have a chance now. Heal Nigeria. Release Nnamdi Kanu. Release him. You are making him more of an issue than the issue he is. He is part of the problem, but you are making him a hero, making him a martyr. Release him until people like him also learn that consultation with other people who don't speak like you, talk like you, maybe even think like you, makes sense. You can't know what you know and know what every other person. It's not possible. In spite of all the good intention or the consult with other people. Do things as win-win for everybody. There's enough for everybody. No, it's not the one in charge. Release him. Then he would have courted the friendship of the people of the Southeast, for whatever he represents now. There are people who believe in his style. He's become a symbol. Even those who didn't believe. Why is the picture behind me now? I'm not his fan. But then he's unfair. Release him. I said in my book, okay, try him. If you find him guilty, and then let the law take its course. Then you polluted the law and send him to jail, because you say in your book, if you were there, you should send him to jail. Did he have to go to jail? Even if he had to go, okay, for the sake of peace or whatever, set him free. He hasn't killed anybody that I know, that I've not read any reports. When I say no, I'm not close to him, but I've not read any reports saying Nnamdi Kanu kill this person. People are talking technicalities, right? In every other thing. They sent a letter to somebody's home. He said he's not around. They've not served him any technicality. So they cannot arrest him at the airport. Technicality, okay? So who did Nnamdi Kanu kill? Can you say the same thing about the people in the Niger Delta? Can you say the same thing about the people in the Northeast and the South, the Northwest? And they are there. How do Nigerians in poverty participate in civil activities when they are busy looking for work? It's a strategy. They keep them. Awolowo stated during the Civil War that hunger is a weapon of war. So poverty is a weapon of politicking by the politicians. If people are not hungry, people can, are doing well in the things that they are doing. They don't care who is in Asoro. We got to a stage like that. I was one of those kind of people. We got to a stage where we didn't care about what NEPA was doing, what the water corporation is doing, even up to some point, what the road construction people, communities came together to repair their roads and repair the roads in front of some of the places I've resided in. You put generators for long as you can buy petrol. So who do you care? What do you care about NEPA or whatever? You dig your borehole so long as what do you care? Nigerians so they don't like that. They don't like that. They have to they have to tune the thing the next notch. Take it up. Security. Somebody once asked me, they said, Richie, even if you have a gun, how many people do you want to kill? How many people do you want to shoot if they come for you? Somebody in the security agencies asked me that question in Nigeria. So it's a weapon. Poverty is a poverty of different, it's a weapon that the political class use against the people. Okay, so you're right. How do they have time to engage in anything when they can't eat? 7 here says, why does the Nigerian leadership act as if insecurity is not a big issue? Because first of all, who sponsored insecurity in the first place? Who is funding insecurity? Is the leadership class. It's documented on social media about how a group imported some groups to support APC in the 2014, 2015 election. It's on record. It's on record how even the America that they are running to now, the same people who are in government now went to the US to go to say Jonathan's government was this, was that, and the Chibok girls were kidnapped, abducted, and people knew why they were could, and they were asked to stand down, not to do anything, so to make a government look bad. That's how nice it is. So, who tells you that the people who are going around killing people is not planned to create confusion, to make the place look ungovernable? The person who is there now says when it comes there, there'll be no insecurity. What is happening? Before they elected General Buhari, you said because he's a military man, insecurity. The person who is there now, they said because he's a vice, is something, nothing is going to happen. No insecurity will die. What has happened? It's all a tool. It's a resource they use to create fear, create anarchy, create distractions, create chaos. When people are running helter-skelter looking for, they are busy. Is anybody talking about what they are planning for 2027? They don't care about the people who are talking about Sharia in the north. Terrorists are killing their people. They're not making any references. They're talking about people in Gaza. People in your vicinity are being killed. You're talking about people in Gaza. As important as Gaza is, shouldn't you first make sure that your own environment is safe for the people who live there? Okay? So I want to thank you all for listening to me in this episode of Say a Prayer, Guys. May Nigeria never happen to you. Nigeria is happening to all Nigerians in plain sight. When I started this program, people say, Richie, what do you mean? What do you mean that Nigeria is a great? Who told you Nigeria is not great? I'm telling you Nigeria is not great. How great are you making it with your selfishness, with your greed, with your sycophancy? How great? How great are you making it when you see evil and you can't talk? You had Pep Guardiola. He's a football coach. It's okay. He's living large. So what should he care? But he cares. When you are there, you're not even sure of your next meal if that's your yes, father does not send you an alert for something. You are not interested in holding people accountable to work for systems that work for everybody. I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian. They are cheating us. We should also have Sharia. One day they would put death in the national federal character thing and say, okay, let's share it. They're sharing it now. That's what's happening. They put terrorism in the federal character quota system. So they are sharing terrorism across Nigeria, even why are they so insistent on putting Sharia in the Southwest? Because if they succeed in doing that, they expect that, the onslaught to the Southeast will become easy. You can't. It's not with any prejudice. The people in the East, they are too culturally focused on who they are. You know how much money you are spending to Islamize that. You can't. They look at somebody without prejudice. Most people from the Southeast, when any of them become Muslim, they look at that person as if he's not well. But that's who they are. Why should you want to kill them over that? You believe in what you believe in. Leave them to believe in what they believe in. Look at areas that will benefit people to take pride in that flag, to take more pride in. Nigerians are proud people, very proud people. Wherever they go, wherever I met them, in spite of all of this, that could increase with the right person, with the right mindset. The person who is there now can decide to have that right mindset. Forget about whatever he's done or didn't do. You are there now. You have what it is needed to solve Nigeria's unity problem. Because every other thing you are doing, if people cannot trust themselves to come together to have things done, rubbish. That can't work. We are appointing commissioner for work who is boasting in videos why he took somebody's land, who is telling a journalist, who are you? Why should I answer your question? And you think you are building something? Who believes they are above the law and accountable? They are not accountable to anything. The accountability, somebody, they say they want you to come and answer for something, you use people to block being arrested or being invited. Violence is not the exclusive reserve for any individual or any group. You should always know that. But don't push people to begin to see that as a last option. Okay? That's why I'm going to end our story for today. Thank you so much for joining me here on this edition, Beyond Jihadists and Crusaders, Nigeria, a harvest for opportunists. That's what they have turned Nigeria to. So opportunists. You can bootlick and be a sycophant. They have room for you. If you can build, if you can think outside the box, for a win-win for everybody, no, you're a threat. But there's a group that has the silver bullet to end all of this. Is the youth. Form your own political parties now. Begin to organize now. Somebody asked a question here about the Lekki NSAS. Freedom costs a lot of things. Don't stop organizing. The people who went to go and do the the protests last week or early this week, it doesn't stop there. That's just one issue. Come together. I have listened to a lot of Nigerian youth from all parts of Nigeria with different videos fighting. You say you are Igbo, why are you here? You say you are Osa, you are that one. I'm just watching. I'm like, these young, brilliant minds target such things at collaborating, facing your common enemy. Your common enemies are your fathers and your grandfathers, the people who have enslaved all of you to think the ways you are thinking. You don't see the good in the other person. How are you going to progress? How? You continue to parrot the person that says when an Igbo man comes into a labor camp, he wants to be the head. What is wrong in what? Is it stopping you? You be the best, then you excel. Be the best, people will come for you. And somebody is sold that to you as a reason why you should hate somebody, and you swallow that and you've lived that way all your life on entitlement mentality. And because of entitlement mentality, you don't have any productive thinking or reasoning. You are not entrepreneurial. You do not, they don't invest the money in building industries. No. Let me tell you, I will end here from the north. If somebody like Dangote could have the challenges he has, from people from the north over his refinery, what does that tell you? It tells you is Dangote is not a Muslim. Dangote is not a northerner. If somebody as rich as Dangote could be shouting and could be speaking, could go out of his way to get documents about somebody, about a system, and publish it and follow it up, it should tell you something. Reason that can pull Nigeria together. You need the Igbos, you need the Yorubas, you need the Hausas, you need the Igbiras, you need the Fulanis. Nigeria needs every Nigerian to go. How do you continue to beef a people because they are industrious? How? And you want to grow? How? Thank you. I will see you in the next episode of Say Prayer. Guys, may Nigeria never happen to you. As I begin to round up my Biafra story, I will tell you what happened as I journeyed between Owerri and Nkwere in the course of that war, in the last days of that war, how I survived. Maybe preparing your mind to about the kind of things you should begin to think about, because make no mistake about it. See, these people who are leading you don't think that's what's going to happen. There's no story. Some point, some people will say we've had enough. In 1967, people said we had enough, and it became a war. This time, it's different people from different parts of Nigeria that they are already saying it, we had enough. Okay? So until I come your way again next episode, same time, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 1 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria. I say thank you for being part of my show today. And our prayer on this program is always, may Nigeria happen for all Nigerians and friends of Nigeria. Thank you. See you in the next one. Bye.